Hello there! I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to the Smallville Retrospective. We're on Season 8, Episode 2, Plastique. And, that smile had nothing to do with the actual name. Yes, this episode continues on from the last one. It's been, what they say, a week since the events of the first episode, so yeah. And, yes, our plot concerns Clark having his first day at the Daily Planet. There's a bomb on a bus, and if it goes below 50 miles an hour, the bomb will blow up. So pop quiz, hotshot. Unfortunately, Keanu Reeves is not here, so he must do with Clark Kent. So, and not that bomb, the bomb on a bus, but not that. But, yeah. And we also get introduced to new character, Davis Bloom, who is a paramedic, which you could suss from his picture and the thing. But his name is Davis Bloom. And he will become very important throughout this season. Stupid. We'll get there. I can't wait to rant about this bullshit. Either when we get to the reveal or in the season finale. Maybe it's like a two-part rant. The first part is when we get to the reveal, and the second part is in the finale. Just how botched this was, and how it had to be botched because of what it is. We'll get to it later. But anyway, so Clark shows up for his new day, his first day at his new job at Daily Planet, wearing his plaid shirt from the season 2. And Lois is like, no, you can't wear that. This is not farm boy attire. So instead, she grabs some guy's suit that just so happens to fit him and put it on. Yeah, random guy's suit. It just so happens to fit. Suspenders of disbelief, people. You just have to, Before anything can happen, though, big explosion happens, and Clark goes to save the day, where he rescues a young teenage girl, important for later, and helps others escape. He helps save a teenage girl, plus he carries a red-headed woman, which is Tess, which we've already been introduced to. But according to this synopsis, it's just red-headed woman. To him, I guess it's a red-headed woman. Chloe, no, I guess he doesn't say the teenage girl. Chloe does with help from the EMT, Davis Bloom. And through the thick smoke, it says. They look her over, and he gives her first aid, and he thanks Chloe for the help. So, when Clark goes to talk to another EMT, the red-haired woman is okay. They hear that she's somewhere. Well, actually, what he says is, there's a lot of people here. Who knows? So he and Chloe meet up, and they talk for a little bit. And he's like, now that Alexa's gone, he can come back. She's like, you know what? No, I gotta find my own path. That's fine, though. Which means all of her journalistic stuff from the beginning of this series that she wanted to do and wanted to be in journalism has gone completely down the toilet. Because now we have real Lois doing the stuff. So we don't need Chloe to be fake Lois anymore. So yeah, yeah. But Lois is texting him, hey, where'd you go? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. So he comes back, and Lois is trying to figure out the story, what's going on. And she says that the bomb might have misfired. So, but he was too busy helping people. He didn't get a source. He just But he tells her that the bomb misfired. Excuse me, I read it wrong. That's what happened, yeah. And I like the guy shows up, boss wants to speak to you. She's like, oh, look. Yes, I gotta go. He's like, no, not you. Clark. Not you, Kent. Oh, okay. And it turns out, because she's the boss, which we already knew, but they set this up like it's supposed to be some big surprise. We already knew that, because the audience, saw her be the new boss in the previous episode. So it's kind of weird. Yeah. And she's like, well, Lexus told me a lot about you. I was like, you said you had a thing for saving people. And she asks him if he knows where Lex is, and he's like, I don't know what happened to him. She thanks him and for saving his life, and then he says he hates to see that her life get consumed like Lexus was by the job, the same way Lexus was, but and Tessa's assistant comes in and asks if she should have someone watch him. She's like, no, I can watch him. At the hospital, over at, what do they call it? Kenton Hospital, General Hospital, as they call it on the show. Chloe's bringing food to Bet, and she's like, okay, so, where you gonna go? She's like, oh, I'm kind of between homes right now. She's supposed to be 15 here, I guess. By the way, Bet, as in Bet Sansusi, the teenage girl, who's also played by Jessica Parker Kennedy. Now, the character of Bet was in season 1 of The Flash, and Jessica Parker Kennedy would go on to play The Flash's daughter. Yep. There's a name there, but I can't remember it. SX. XS. XS. What is it? Barry Allen. Iris West Allen. Henry Allen. What is her name? I can't think of her name. Nora! I just remembered it. So my head was working. She was Nora West Allen on The Flash during season 5 or 6. 6? 5, 6. 6, I think. No, 5. It was the 100th episode. 6 was not. But she did show up later, but anyway, so Chloe's like, I'm gonna go get you a soda to wash that down. And she just walks off, and I'm like, you didn't ask her what kind she wanted. How do you know what she likes? You don't. She runs into Davis, who recognizes her, and apparently Chloe's gonna drop her off at the shelter, but Davis thinks that's too primitive. I don't know, too mean. But he's like, oh, I can get her into a home. I know somebody that can help. And then Chloe's like, you know what? You can stay at my place, but only if you consider Davis's offer. So, yeah, unless she's not forced in anything. So. Clark and Lois go to the bomb site, but they're not able to get in. But Clark is able to overhear. She tries to flirt with the guy, and he just won't have it. He does overhear that. That there wasn't a bomb on the bus. That there's no residue. There's no mechanical stuff. There's nothing that can confirm that a bomb was on that bus. So, Lois goes to talk to other bus passengers and emergency personnel. Clark goes to Chloe's apartment to talk to her. And really, he's like, I need to ask you some questions. And immediately just starts drilling her. with questions like, Jesus. So he thinks that someone with a meteor power, and she wants to know what that is. And when they explain it, she's like, "Oh, my friend Tommy. He found a strange rock, and he has weird powers. He gets angry, and things start on fire." So they go back to Metropolis and find Tommy in a skate park, and he's clearly afraid, but recognizes Clark, attempts to run away, and he's like, "Oh, I want to talk." He gets angry, and we notice that Bet has the powers and shoots the explosives near barrels, which explode and kills Tommy. And it's not till later where they find shards of the barrels in him. They would have exploded outward if he used his powers. And it's like, wouldn't you be able to notice when there's an explosion that it, because it explodes, and they don't, wouldn't they be able to notice, from our point of view, it's going to look like an explosion. But from their point of view, they should see, I guess this is a suspenders of disbelief situation. They would see the barrels exploding first into him. They're not like us from a distance. They're right there. I don't know. But, yes. So they tended to time himself up. So they go back to the Daily Planet. Clark tells Lois what happens, and they figure his powers got out of control. But during this, she's recording everything, and she's like, "Oh, don't worry. I'll just call you sources say. I'll refer to you as sources say." So they go off to the hospital. They decide to go to the hospital. You get the coroner's report, and it says, "Oh, you could do Tommy's obituary." So Chloe's at the ISIS Foundation trying to replace the light bulb. Davis comes in with Bet's application for the home. How he knew she was there, I don't know, but okay. I also fixed the light bulb, and they sort of start to flirt, but she's like, "I'm engaged." And it turns out he's the first one she's ever told about that. Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, hey, it's fine. We hasn't heard of ISIS before." She's like, "Oh, my friend, he knows about meteor types." And I like how he doesn't call them freaks. He just says meteor types, meteor people. And he's like, they can use the help, but you should think about running it and helping them. She's like, I don't know. And then it's revealed that she's like, she even says, "I Googled you." So to pick up that check for that mention, I Googled you. He was a foster child around from foster homes. So, yeah. Back at the mansion, Tess is reading a file on Bet when someone comes in, tell that they are unsure of the girl's whereabouts. This is where we find out that she tried to approach Bet on the bus and it didn't work out. Which means that, yes, if you're wondering like I was, because I couldn't remember that, I know there was something. But if you wonder, why was she on the bus when she has all this monies? Right? And she has Lex's mansion and everything. And she said, "Oh, I'm going green." Clark buys it despite the fact that buses aren't green. They're still fossil fuels, so I don't understand that. And the aide tells her that Lex would have terminated the girl immediately, and Tess is like, "Well, I'm in charge now, so what I say goes. Things are different now." And she wants the aide to bring Bet to her. So Lois and Clark go. They're at the coroner's room, and Lois has a different kind of identification card for any kind of thing, but she says she can't leave the United States with it. So leaves him outside holding flowers while she goes into the coroner's room, and where he just decides to walk off and bumps into Davis. And for some reason, Davis thinks Clark is Chloe's fiance because he saw them talking earlier. That's a big leap there. That's a bigger leap than leaping over a tall building in a single bound, there, buddy. But yeah, and then he's like, oh. He's like, I'm engaged. She's like, well, I figured, I saw you and Chloe. He's like, Chloe's engaged. He's like, oh. He's like, oh, I was talking to your fiance. He's like, I'm getting married. You know. He's like, oh, you know what? If Chloe asks, can you tell her it wasn't me? Like, who else? And then later, when he does mention something, she doesn't figure it out for some reason. I don't know, but yeah. Back at Chloe's apartment above the Talman, Bet is trying to leave. Chloe says, no, don't. But as they're arguing, her powers get out of control, and but and that's when she realizes, oh, it was you. So now Bet's like, okay, you have to die now because you know my powers. So back at the hospital, though, they find out there's no meteor rock in Tommy's body, and I like how Lois is still determined that he's a meteor freak, despite it's like they're reading off the rap sheet. And he goes, none of those have anything to do with heat powers, and he's like, but Bet was there both times that they exploded, so he super speeds back to Smallville because, despite the fact the show's still called Smallville and it takes place now in Metropolis, they're still going to go to the town because that's where Chloe lives. Well, I guess she doesn't work at the. She explains that she deliberately set up the explosions to protect herself on the bus, and later was to get revenge on Tommy because he betrayed her. And it turns out she has also escaped from Black Creek, which will give us some of our meteor freaks for this season. That Bet told Tommy, and he immediately ratted her out. So that was kind of a revenge thing. And Chloe tells her that she was there too, and that she also had meteor powers, but that they shouldn't kill no matter what. Bet threatens her, and Chloe tries to run. Bet tries to blast her, but Clark shows up. And this is where I think there's an issue here. And it has to do with the new writing team, or the people. She throws a blast, it hits Clark, and flies back at her. Do the writers not realize that meteor powers work on Clark? They have before, right? Like, I guess maybe they wouldn't, but the way they just hit him and fly back, like, it's like his clothes don't even get burnt or anything. Just hit him and flies back. I don't know. Some meteor powers work on him. I guess it's the ones that are the meteor rock. I don't know. It just, maybe I'm reaching too far for this. Wouldn't it hurt him? I don't know. Maybe I'm. It stuns her, and Clark decides she's gonna help her no matter what she's done, and says that she's not a monster. So, yeah. And she takes his hand. So she goes to Belle Reve, and they're cleaning up the mess in Chloe's apartment when she finds the ring has fallen off and he has it, and it's like, so when are you gonna tell me? She's like, how long? He's like, how long? He's like, a week. He didn't tell me. She's like, she's like, did Jimmy tell you? He's like, no. Rule 11: don't never give up your source. Though I think it's painfully obvious it was Davis, but whatever. And she says she kept it from him because she thinks once she marries Jimmy, things are gonna change. The way they are between each other, things are gonna change. Some I never understood, but yeah. I guess some things change, but no. He says that her happiness is the most important thing, and one of the most important things in the world to him, so she shouldn't worry about it. So Tess shows up on the bus and tries to talk Beth to coming back to Luthor Corp, and says she's trying to help her, and that she shut down a Montana facility, and she says that she needs a hero to put a team together, a team that can battle injustice. Meanwhile, Lois has her front page headline about the bus explosion and thanks Clark for his help. And then she gives him this corrected version of the obituary. He's like, "Wow, don't hold back." She's like, "No, it's a compliment, really." And yeah, and they talk about Chloe's engagement, and he's like, "You should be happy for Chloe," you know. And then we see Chloe calling Davis. She's at the ISIS Foundation. She calls him. She gets an answering machine or a voicemail at this point. Who knows what it is? It says answering machine, but a voicemail. And that she thanks him for helping her decide to reopen ISIS Foundation to help Meteor Freaks. And we see that Davis is laying unconscious in an alleyway, naked, trembling, and he wakes up and goes, end of episode. What could this mean? I know, but I'm not telling. This episode was okay. I'll give it 3 Superman logos out of 5. It was fine for what it was. I knew it wasn't going to be big. I actually think the Plastique episode of The Flash is a better episode than this one. I think it has better... I think it has bigger stakes because they built up that more in that one. Here she's just a teenage runaway. You know? So, but they built that she has these anxieties because she was locked up for 3 years. Chloe's like, I was there for like a month. Imagine 3 years. I can see that, but yeah, and we will see her again, of course, later this season, actually. So, yes. So what are your thoughts on this episode? Someone should like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Sky, and I'll see you in the next one.